Okay. So this is my list of top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe projects.
Correct.
The honorable mention here is actually going to be Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
It would be at my 10 spot if not for one of these. So it just got bumped out. I think it's a little underrated.
Yeah.
It's a little overhated.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect, but it's still an Avengers movie, and it's a lot of fun. James Spader's Ultron's great. All right, so at the 10th spot is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Wow.
I think it deserves to be in the top 3.
Top 10.
Sorry, top 10. Guardians 3 deserves to be in the top 10. I think Rocket's backstory and the emotionalness there and the fight scene at the end, you get everything you need in a Guardians movie, the comedy, everything. I think it's really good. Just not as good necessarily as the original. You can make that argument, but I do have the original somewhere else on this list. Number 9, I have Avengers Endgame.
Wow.
We are lower on Endgame on this podcast than most, just because it's a little bit of a mess and whatever, but it's still Endgame. You know, you got to give it its flowers.
Absolutely.
The last 40 minutes are insane, and it is the culmination, and you get 3 hours of craziness. So it deserves to be in the top 10. What is also in the top 10 at my number 8 spot is Iron Man.
Wow.
Started the MCU, and I think it deserves its spot. It's a solid origin story. You get RDJ as Iron Man for the first time. And I love it. I love it. You get the cheeseburgers. You get the fight with Warmonger at the end. You get to introduce
Ironmonger.
Thank you. Phil Coulson's in there. Perfect origin. And it started off the MCU. At number
7.
Sorry, this is swapped a little bit. At number 7, this might upset you a little bit. I do have Civil War.
That's fine.
It's in the top 10.
It's in the top 10.
It's just not going to be, it's not the tippity top.
For you.
For me, personally. Okay, after that. No. So I did this on Letterboxd.
Okay.
And you're noticing that it's only movies so far.
Yes.
The only thing that deserves to be in the top 10 to me is X-Men 97. That is not a movie. So I'm going to put that next. It could be before Civil War, could be after. It just deserves
But
to
you've got X-Men 97 at number 6.
At number 6, X-Men 97, yes. Breathtaking, animation, characters, I Can't Feel You, Mon Ami, friggin' love all of it. No other MCU TV show, in my mind, deserves to be top 10. I don't like them. I like movies better. Okay, top 5 of the MCU, here we go, and here's where the other Guardians is. Guardians 1 is at my 5 spot. Maybe because everyone went in with low expectations, but no, because it stood the test of time. You know, I had no idea what to expect when I watched this movie, and it's just a lot of fun. This seems like the MCU, what it should be. Number 4, I have No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay? People have turned their backs on this movie. They are wrong.
We refuse.
We refuse your stupidity. No Way Home. No Way Home is great. At number 3, I have decided to put Infinity War.
Wow. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. I see where we're going here. Okay, I get where we're going.
I love Infinity War. I memorized every single line of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Okay? I know Infinity War like the back of my hand. It's an Avengers movie. It's exactly what it needed to be. My jaw dropping at the end of that movie as I walked out the theater and everyone was silent.
Yep.
Thank you, the MCU, for giving us something like that. But I did just rewatch Winter Soldier, and it's got to be number 2. It's just so good. I love everything about it, man. It's just... I knew I liked it.
Yeah.
I knew it was always in my top 5.
Yeah.
But when I rewatched it, the whole time I was just like, I can't believe how good this is.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be good, and rewatching it, it just reminded me why it's number 2. And number 1, my favorite movie of all time. You're all wrong if you say this is an overrated movie or that it doesn't stand the test of time. You're just wrong. It's the Avengers. It's the first Avengers movie. It's a perfect movie. It just really is. Everything flows. The villain is perfect. It's the first time we've ever gotten a movie like this where all the superheroes were coming together. It's funny. It gives us action. It gives us all these characters the way they're meant to be. It gives us a Hulk, which we haven't gotten since then, basically. And yeah, I love it. So the Avengers is my number 1. That's my top 10.
Nice top 10. All right, I've got a couple questions.
Sure, hit me.
To respond to your top 10. For starters, Avengers 1 for you is a 10 out of 10. Perfect score. Is Winter Soldier a 10 out of 10? Is Infinity War a 10 out of 10?
So this is interesting that you bring this up, because I was going through some of my Letterboxd stuff.
Yeah.
And I was looking at highly rated things so I could do my favorite movies of all time, and I could do this. And it was a lot easier for me to start giving out a few of those 5 out of 5s because I had sat with some of these movies.
Absolutely,
longer, right? So Winter Soldier was one of those. I think
Yeah.
I had it at a 9. I think I had Infinity War at a 9. No Way Home at like a 9 or an 8. So Infinity War, I'm not sure. Probably, I'd probably give Infinity War, but I would give Winter Soldier that as well. But it is fun being able to like see the things that I gave like an 8 or 9 and be like, okay, I'm comfortable giving that a 10 now.
My follow-up question is, you have at the 10th spot Guardians 3, which you gave a 9 out of 10. So is everything in this top 10 list a 9 out of 10 or better for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, in game you can make the argument that it's structurally not a 9 out of 10, but
Sure.
just because of what it is, personally I'd give it that. But yeah, Guardians, Civil War, Iron Man, No Way Home, all should be 9 or above.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so Infinity War, you're iffy on giving a 10, but then No Way Home would probably be the first 9 out of 10 on this list?
I'd probably give that a 9.
Yeah.
Or a 9.5.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
That's fair. Just want to gauge where you're at, because obviously you are very
I gatekeep.
gatekeepy with your 10s,
But
so I wanted to see.
There was legitimately like 2 or 3 movies that on Letterboxd while I was doing this I saw and I was like, no, that deserves a 5 now.
Nice.
So that was interesting. Yeah.
Very nice.
You want to go?
Yeah, I could go.
I'm very interested.
Yeah, I don't have honorable mentions. You had Ultron. I think my honorable mentions would actually be 2 movies that are in your list, which is Guardians 3, Avengers Endgame. But my number 1 honorable mention, which would be the 11th spot, and I regretted that it missed this top 10, is WandaVision.
Wow.
Yes, WandaVision is my 11th place on this top 10
I
MCU
thought that was
projects
for sure
list.
going to be in there.
No, yeah. Number 10, I've got Loki season 1. I really like Loki season 1. I'm going to grade these by season. I'm not going to count Loki the whole show because it would not be on the top 10. But Loki season 1 really impressed me. I think it's got 1 bad episode. Otherwise, I think it's spectacular. 9, I've got Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. When I first saw this movie in 2014, this would probably be number 2, maybe number 3 on this list. And for me, a lot of the movies that have replaced it came out later, for sure. But also, I've said this before, and I'll say this again, I feel it's the least rewatchable of the great MCU projects. The jokes just hit less and less and less for me every time I watch it, which is not the case for some of the movies higher on this list. Let's go number 8. Your most hated movie in the MCU, we've got Thor Ragnarok. I think Thor Ragnarok is a blast. I think it's hilarious. It's one of the only MCU movies that isn't gray. It's wildly colorful. It is so fun. I think Jeff Goldblum is a standout. I love the Tom Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Loki relationship.
Then you like Dark World, right?
No, because Dark World is not even gray, it's black. Thor Ragnarok impressed me when it came out and it continues to impress me. You have not bewitched me with your voodoo magic to tell me that movie is a bad movie, because I think it's a great movie.
I'll keep trying.
At number 7, your second most hated MCU movie, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming.
Gross.
Every day I think about this movie, it gets better and better and better.
No.
The jokes hit better. It is one of the funniest movies of all time. I will say till the day I die that when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, it was the best Spider-Man movie we'd ever gotten.
No.
Number 6. I've got your number 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
A little low.
I think Winter Soldier is great. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I have very little problems with Winter Soldier. But at the end of the day, all of the movies above Winter Soldier, all of the projects I have above Winter Soldier have like a wow factor that Winter Soldier is just incredible, but doesn't have the wow factor of some of these other movies I have ahead of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Number 5, I've got your favorite movie of all time. I've got The Avengers. I am with you. Anybody that downplays The Avengers is completely ridiculous. I saw that movie 4 times in theaters. When it came out, it may have been my favorite movie of all time. Yeah. I love The Avengers with all my heart. I'll never forget the feeling I got in the opening scene where Stellan Skarsgård says, minor levels of gamma radiation and nothing harmful. And Nick Fury goes, that can be harmful. I was like, they get it.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yep.
They did it. And the rest of the movie, they knocked out of the park. Those of you that believe that movie is aged poorly, or is it a great superhero movie?
People call it a TV show movie? No.
Or is it a top 10 superhero movie of all time? I think you're wrong. I really do believe that it belongs in that conversation.
That's one of the reasons this podcast still works.
Yeah.
We disagree a lot, but if you hated that movie, it would be tough.
It's preposterous.
It'd be tough for me.
But At number 4 is another movie that gets too much hate. It's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Anybody that believes that Spider-Man No Way Home has aged poorly or is just nostalgia bait or whatever you think, you're wrong. It's the best live-action Spider-Man movie we'll probably ever get. It is spectacular. They knocked it out of the park. In my opinion, you take Tobey and Andrew out of the movie, it's still the best live-action Spider-Man movie of all time. I think it's that good. I think it's that tight. And I've said this once, I'll say this a million times. I believe Spider-Man No Way Home is the most rewatchable movie in the MCU. Every time I rewatch it, the jokes still hit, the action still hits, everything still hits about it. I think it'd be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me if it wasn't so ugly. Number 3, I've got Captain America Civil War. Like you mentioned, you're a tad lower on it than me, but I'm a tad lower on Winter Soldier than you. It's fair, we just flip-flopped our Captain America movies.
No problem.
Civil War just has that wow factor that I was missing from Winter Soldier. And even though obviously it's my 3rd spot and my 2nd favorite movie of all time in the MCU, I think you could certainly make the argument that Captain America Civil War is the best movie in the MCU. It's just not my favorite. The way it is written, it is gray, but I think that movie should be accurately gray. I need it to be a little more colorful, but otherwise it's so well written. The genius of having Iron Man as the main character since 2008. For 8 years, he's the main character of the MCU. To make him the antagonist, 8 years in, was brilliant. Now, obviously, RDJ is coming back as Doctor Doom, so now it's a much less novel concept.
Apparently, Chris Evans is.
But yeah, what are you going to do? But at the time, Civil War blew me away, and it continues to blow me away. It's probably the best MCU movie, but I slightly prefer Avengers Infinity War at my 2 spot. Infinity War is just the event. I think it's clearly better than every other Avengers movie. Avengers Endgame, it's clearly better than. Infinity War is just so tight. It's unbelievable having that many characters in that movie and it working that well.
Yep.
It's really a miracle. And it was so hard to do that the Russos literally had to kill half of the universe to make the sequel work.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you could juggle that many characters for another movie. Cap gets, shafted a little bit in that movie, but otherwise everybody gets a moment to shine. It's really, really spectacular. Infinity War is a great movie. And Thanos being the main character of that movie, 10 years in, it's just unbelievable how well they pulled that off. Infinity War is a marvel, and in my opinion, the best MCU movie we have ever gotten. And at number 1 spot, this is an MCU projects ranking, I have X-Men 97 Season 1. X-Men 97 Season 1 floored me. It blew me away. You guys all saw our reactions episode per episode per episode because we talked about it on this podcast because we couldn't stop talking about it. X-Men 97, blew me away. And that's my number 1 MCU project of all time. There you go.
Okay, my questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned No Way Home is not a 10 out of 10 because it's a little gray.
Yeah.
Is it a 9? 9.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every project on here above my 10 spot, which is Loki Season 1, I have as an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a 9 out of 10.
Gotcha. Why do you have Loki and all these things above WandaVision?
I only have... I love WandaVision, and watching it week to week was a beautiful experience and something that I cherish forever. And it's probably my favorite experience watching the MCU. It's either the WandaVision era or the No Way Home era. But WandaVision has serious problems, and I kind of watch WandaVision with rose-tinted goggles because the time of it coming out was so special for me and everybody else watching the show that I discount these moments that hurt it. There's nothing in any of these movies or shows that I have in my top 10 that's worse than Ralph Boner. That's worse than the final battle just being a CGI fuckfest, which is fine, and I like it because I like that she outsmarts her, but it still doesn't really fit with the rest of the show. I don't like any of the stuff that's happening outside of the Hex. Episode 4 is one of my least favorite episodes of MCU television because you had this amazing mystery of what's going on in the Hex, and in episode 4 you just find out everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, yeah.
I want you to go through your top 10, not including the animated.
Yeah.
And I just want you to say gray, not gray on all of them.
Sure. Loki Season 1 is not gray, but it's brown. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is not gray.
Not gray.
Thor Ragnarok is not gray. Spider-Man Homecoming is gray. Captain America the Winter Soldier is gray, but that's fine. The reason Winter Soldier is a 9 out of 10 has nothing to do with the grayness. It has to do with the Peggy Carter scene is one of my least favorite scenes in the entire MCU.
Where she's old?
Yeah, I hate it. I think it's gross. I just can't do it. It like grosses me out.
Why?
He's like, you're my best girl. And she's like 90. I'm like, ugh. I really wish they didn't include that scene. That scene and that, yeah. And then I kind of think some of the jokes don't work in Winter Soldier. Like, was I your, like it's just the tone of the movie is very consistent. And then you just have scenes where she's just like, was I your first kiss since 1945? It to me, those jokes don't fit.
Wow, I could not disagree more about both of those points.
Well, you're just not grossed out by the Peggy Carter thing. I just like, it grosses me out. I don't like it. Steve, I'm like, ugh. I couldn't leave my best girl. I'm like, ugh, get this off my screen. And the deep fake looks bad. The CGI of her
Also disagree.
looks bad. But so yes, Winter Soldier is gray, but it's not to the detriment of the movie. I think that's a plus because that movie should be gray. The Avengers is gray, unfortunately. It's less gray than these movies, but it is gray. Spider-Man No Way Home is the grayest movie on this list. Civil War is gray, but I don't think it's a detriment to the movie, even though I wish it was a tad more colorful. When Spider-Man shows up, he shouldn't be as gray as he is. And then Infinity War is pretty gray, especially the New York scenes. The Guardians scenes aren't that gray. The scene in Nowhere with Thanos, some of the Thanos scenes aren't gray. But everything on Titan is dull, and everything in New York is really gray. The X-Men 97 is certainly not gray. It's my biggest problem with the MCU consistently, is that their movies are ugly.
And movies, period.
Well, because the MCU is the biggest blockbuster franchise of all time, yes, it's a copycat world. People
You
are
think Fight
copying
Club
them.
is gray?
Fight Club is not gray. I get what you're saying. It's a darker movie, but it's like it's shot like that for a reason. It's very similar to the Batman. The Batman is not gray. It is dark, but it's not gray.
Is The Dark Knight gray?
Yeah. But that's okay for that movie.
Is there any amount of movies that you watch that could make you think that you're just watching movies with gray tinted glasses?
It's a funny line. But no, because there are
Just
movies every year that aren't gray.